Hello, my Taurus friends. This is actually my first reading for a specific zodiac sign on YouTube. And I started with Taurus. Actually, I started with Aries, but something happened and I have to go back to that one. So anyway, it worked for me to pull the cards in peace and solitude because I'm fairly new at this YouTube stuff and I did not want to mess it up. So I really spent some time, getting messages, trying to channel anything I possibly could to give you this message. So, all right, let's get started. The first thing I did was pull these cards here. One says, "Did you hear?" The other one says, "Fact, news." And then ... is over here. I don't know if you can see that. ... Waiting. Okay. At the center of your reading is a Three of Wands. After much contemplation, I'm pretty certain I know what this is about. For this is only for certain people of the Taurus zodiac sign. It's not for all. But I feel that you are working on something. This is professional, or it could even be a hobby, but it's something you're really passionate about. You're very knowledgeable in this subject. This could have been in the recent past, or this could be going on right now. That's my feeling. I think that you're an innovator, you're a creator of some kind. This could be science, it could be social media, it could be anything, okay? But this is your baby, is what I'm gathering. It's a project that you've been working on, and you're waiting, or we're waiting for the results to come in. And I feel like it's something that's it's a difficult industry, okay? It's an industry that's not super regulated. Or if it's something like a product, for example, like you never know what's going to happen. Is somebody going to beat you to it, come up with another version, steal your idea? So there's a lot at stake, but it's something you're passionate about. But it's not like going into, trying to think of a good example, medicine, for example, where, there's tests and, and it could be in the medical field, but it would be like you creating something, like, I don't know, a cure for something, or some sort of interesting prosthetic variation or something like that. So, but it can be tricky, and it's highly subjective, whatever this is that you're working on. So there may be a panel of judges, if you are an athlete, there's so many variables, an athlete on even, so this would be more of like an individual thing. So let's just say you're a solo athlete. So you're I can't think of an example, a figure skater. This would be a panel of judges. You don't know exactly who the judges are or what they're looking for, so it's not guaranteed. So the process is a little tricky. And again, like you're not sure if this thing is going to work out because you're not the judge of it. And it's not as simple as it being a study that comes back or a result. This is like, am I going to get the funding? Will I have the best YouTube show? Or, is this new promotion going to take? You invented something. Am I getting the patent or, the trademark, that kind of thing? So there's so much going on in this situation, but mainly, you're trying to live your day life. So you might have another job that you work, or, maybe you just have a lot of responsibilities and, you are having a hard time, keeping up with everything. So, working on this project and paying the bills, working on this project and, giving your kids, the care that they need, or, somebody else in your family, whatever it is, you have other responsibilities, and you've also invested money into this. So, the other thing with the challenge is that, this, like I said, this is your baby, right? It's this Page of Pentacles. Like you are, you're putting it out for the world to look at, to view, to judge in some way. And there's a lot about it that's unknown, And there may be somebody, a competitor, or like a gatekeeper of some kind in something that's very important to you, and you would have never chose this person to have anything to do with your career or your project, but you don't have a choice, and that gives you anxiety. And I actually felt the anxiety. And what's happening with you is that it's not working out, or it didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. And you can't even really pinpoint what it is. You just know, with the Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords in the world, that it didn't work out the way you planned. You didn't get the patents, or the patent's taking a very, very long time. Hence the ... right? And once the results come in, it's a fact, it's the news, like this is what it is. You can't really do anything about it. So, your numbers, they did shrink for now, for whatever variable. That's the facts. And the people have spoken, you're hurt. This is something that you definitely care about a lot. And you're not even sure what to do different right now. And that's okay, because I think it's going to come to you as a whisper, like an epiphany. But you have to take whatever you have that you could still use from this and rework it. And that's very difficult because you're losing a little something. It could be that you don't get to keep all of your intellectual property, or you find out that, across the world, somebody else is working on something very similar and they have a lot more funding than you. And this might not be something that you should take a second shot at, type of deal. And I feel like it was a real heartbreaker, like a crossroads, or it will be a crossroads. And I also think that you have to make a decision about where you're going to put your energy. And I think you make a smart decision. It looks to me like you're focusing on what you can control right now, which is self-care, and sort of getting out of your head, a little bit more into the heart space and out of the head space, because I think you've been in the head space for a while. And you definitely tend to it looks like you're really taking care of your emotional needs, because it was a heartbreak, and this is what all great people are made of, like when you look at people that are extremely successful, it's not because they just went out and nailed it on the first shot. It's because they had the fortitude, and they had the courage, and they had the strength and the thick skin, right, to try it again and again, and maybe fail in front of people, in public, privately, whatever it is. Success is about being able to fail a whole lot. The successes are like in between the failures. And I think that that's a difficult one. That's difficult for you to accept. I think that, it's a time of transformation for you. Your environment, you have strength. I think that you have a couple of key people around you that you really, really love and care about, that are good distractions for you. I also see like an offshoot here. Did you hear? Right, with the heartbreak, I really feel like I pulled some clarification on strength. And I got the Queen of Cups, the King of Cups in reverse, and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. I feel intuitively like this is a family member, like maybe a mom or a sister, or somebody who's like family, very close to you. It could be a significant other, someone that you dated, but they need you, or maybe they don't know they need you, but they need you, and you decide to invest your time a little bit in someone else who's close to you, which comes along with strength here, because you are healing from your own situation. But you like to you like to see things grow, right? Whether it's your money, your effort, you really don't like to waste your time on things that aren't giving you anything back. And I think that you stayed in the heartbreak place for, a hot second, or will for a hot second, but then you focus on something maybe with your family or friends. This could even be an aspect of yourself, but that's not what I'm getting from it. If I could give you an example that may have nothing to do with you, this would be like if your sister is, in the middle of a divorce, and, her soon-to-be ex-husband was like a real jerk and did something stupid, like, I don't know, spent all of their money and, cashed out the 401k and went and like gambled it and something crazy like that, where look, you're already kind of not in optimum form, because you're optimal, whatever that word is, form, because you have dealt with something that didn't work out exactly the way that you wanted it, but also you're lending yourself to someone else as a support, which kind of gets your mind off of you, which is a good thing for you, because you really don't like to dwell in your emotions, although you are very sensitive. So I think that there was some gossip surrounding this, and I think that you had to like swoop in and help with the situation. It was a good thing for you, because you're getting a lot of validation of just like how much people trust you and look to you as somebody who's reliable. Which is far different from the situation that you're going through or just been through, where, you're taking a chance and it didn't work out exactly the way you wanted and you weren't in control of all the variables. This is a comfortable place where, the success is coming, but that's not even what you're focused on here. It's just like, you're sort of taking stock of like what you have, what is working, and you're satisfied. And comfortable. I pulled these towards the end of the reading. This is patience. I think this goes along with the ... I think that, sometimes, growing is like a lot of like little things that you don't love, but that you get through, and maybe even masterfully get through them. And that's almost more valuable than maybe the initial idea. But, you've been hurt. There's a lot of potential in you to do several things in terms of your professional life. I think your personal life is really in a good place, or soon to be in a very solid place. And you're ready to venture out and see, what's next. And your possible outcome is just like the best possible outcome after all this. It's the Four of Wands, the Nine of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles. Whatever happens here, I feel like something that you once put a ton of effort into, and even if this was last month, is going to come to you in another way, and rather simply. It's like you're going to tweak something, and it's going to be so much easier than you thought it was going to be when you were focused on it so intently and putting so much of your energy into it. Turns out that when you get a little detour, maybe a family issue, a relationship issue, something with a friend, if you're somebody who's in like AA or NA, this situation that I was discussing may be a friend of yours, or somebody you care about really needing you to help them get back in the fold. Whatever it is, it's a little hiccup. It's not really about you, but it's something you care about. And I think you're really valued in this space, whether it's with your family, your friends. And before you know it, something shifts when you're not paying attention, and it all comes together. And that is also, did you hear that, this may be that, you created something, and the first prototype was a failure for whatever reason. Maybe the manufacturing, or when you finally got it, it wasn't what you thought, or it didn't operate the way it was supposed to. But then, when you're not taking yourself as seriously, you, go on the Shark Tank or something, and end up getting a deal with like Mark Cuban, and it's like, a dream come true, and it's like, whoa, 10 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, 9 of Cups, when I least expected it. I think that's what's coming for you. So that is your reading, Taurus. Thank you so much for listening until the end. I hope that you have a wonderful day. I'm not sure if I said that it's July 21st, but yes, I'm trying to get a reading out to each of the zodiac signs. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.